class we had the quiz of units 4 and 5. I still need to upload your grades, so probably I'm going to do it through this day. And with all the lessons from the book, we're over. We already finished the book content. So that means that you need to fully cover all Cambridge platform from units 1 to 5. I'll be checking that also today. And we're going to start until the rest of the class shows up. We will start with a listening, short listening practice, okay? So I'm going to share with you the page and the song of a lyric that we will be today.
Teacher,
Yes,
good morning, teacher.
good morning.
Yo estaba intentando hacer.
Nice when we are doing some listening. So you can try to listen more music in English if you like it. Try to find a band or a gender that you like to listen and try to practice with the lyrics and some missing spaces so you can remember or you can like test or challenge yourself to complete the missing spaces when you're listening. Why did I do this exercise at the very beginning? Because today and the next class, we're going to be covering all the listening practice that you need for your proficiency test. So today it's going to be all about listening, guys. All about listening. So, guys, can you tell me when was the last time you listened a song or something in English? When was the last time? Can you tell me, guys, when was the last time you were listening something in English? Wendy, when was the last time?
Yesterday, well, I listen uh, music in English every day.
Okay, that's great. Excellent. That's something that we should try to do, listening to any kind of music or any kind of artist. What about you, Kevin? When was the last time you listened something in English? Hello, Kevin. Wake up. If Kevin is not here, Aldrich, can you tell me when was the last time you listened to something in English?
Repeat, teacher, please.
Sure. When was the last time you listened to something in English? Let me share with you the question, okay? I'm going to write the question on the board so everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, Aldrich, help me with your answers.
Maybe 6 hours ago.
Okay, what did you listen?
And I listen um, Hotel California, English.
Okay, you listened to the song Hotel California in English. Thank you, Aldrich. And let's listen to the last person. And let me see, when was the last time you listened to something in English, Angie?
Okay, teacher. I listen to music in English every day, but some things I don't understand.
Yes, it's for sure that there are gonna be some phrases maybe or words that we don't understand. That's why a good idea is always to use the lyrics if we don't understand, so we can look up for some words, the meanings of some words. And I would say that another good exercise for you as you are in fifth level is to watch or rewatch a series that you liked and try to listen this time in English and use the subtitles as well in English. Because if you heard another word or a word that you don't know, that maybe is a new word for you, you can know by watching how is it written, and probably you can look up for the meaning of these words. So a really good idea is to watch maybe a movie or something that you like using subtitles in English. And I would advise you also to maybe listen to a podcast, any podcast of the topic you like, maybe comedy, or if you like to listen to, I don't know, news or whatever in another language, try to look for some good podcast in English. You can find a lot of good information in Spotify if you look for some podcasts. Okay, guys, thank you. So I listened to some of your classmates answering this question. Most of you like to listen to music because it maybe makes you feel better. Okay, that's a good exercise when we try to improve our listening skill. Now, what is this PET exam we have right here? On your screens, you have some information about the proficiency test that you will be given in upcoming months, okay? So, this PET exam is a test prepared by Cambridge, or it's a Cambridge English qualification that it's going to let's say that it's going to prove that you are in a B1 level. Okay, so this test, known as a preliminary school test, it's for people who have achieved like an upper intermediate level, which is B1. So in this English exam, we just try to show that the students have mastered the basics of English. What does it mean, the basics of English? It means that you can handle a conversation, you have practical language skills, and you can use this language every day. So a person who is a B1 can easily do any task or or can go through any daily situation. It means that you can take the bus, you can give directions, you can give maybe suggestions, you can talk about the past, the present, and the future, and you can use a more qualified vocabulary. So this is the meaning of this exam, or what this exam shows up. It shows up that you are good, at least with more than the basic English for tourist or a second language student. Okay, what is this exam about, or what do we have in this exam? Well, this exam is going to grade 4 skills. Well, indeed, it's 5 skills, but grammar, it's going to be also included by the listening and reading section. So in these both sections, we are going to see how good is your grammar. Not just in listening, in reading, but also when you write or you speak. We focus or we watch also the grammar you use when you make the sentences or you want to express something you want to say. Okay, so here we have the 4 skills you're going to have in the test. This test is going to grade your listening, reading, writing, and speaking. In each skill, you're going to have a set of questions or a set of exercises that you will develop in a specific period of time. That means that, for example, in listening, you're going to have 4 parts. I mean, 4 different kind of exercises. For the whole listening part, if you are going to give your proficiency test in the university, you're going to have 30 minutes, okay? 30 minutes to complete the 4 parts of listening, and it's going to be graded over 2.5. So, as you can see, each skill has or contains different parts, okay? We have the listening part with 4 content of 4 parts of 4 exercises and 30 minutes to complete. Then we have the reading part. Okay, we will be discussing a little bit more about reading next week. And as you can see here, reading has 6 parts. Reading skill can go from 5 to 6 parts, and you're going to have an hour. It means 60 minutes to complete this part. You will have many questions to answer, and the questions and the kind of readings are going to be different each time. Si cada reading que ustedes tengan, cada ejercicio de reading dentro de estas 6 partes va a ser diferente. Okay, and once again, it's going to be over 2.5. También va a ser calificado sobre 2.5. So here you have an idea of how is it going to be in a general way. Okay, then we move to the writing section. In the writing section, you have 2 parts. Okay, in the writing section here we have 2 parts. But we're going to learn how to make these parts. Because of the time, when you are giving your proficiency test at university, you will have to answer just 1 part, but it's going to be in a random way. So probably you will have to do part 1 or part 2. It depends on what it's given to you that day. Okay, so here we have the writing section with 2 parts, 2 kind of writing things you will have to develop in real time. And for this activity, you will have 20 minutes. As you can see, the difference between each skill is different. For writing, you have 20 minutes. 20 minutes to complete all the writing section. And finally, we have speaking. Speaking is going to be like the, we can say the skill who's gonna need less time. You're only going to have 10 minutes to speak and you're going to do it in a couple. Okay, we're going to, or you're going to be tested. Your skill is going to be tested in a couple. You don't know who is going to be your partner. And it's going to have 4 parts. 4 parts and 10 minutes to complete this exercise, okay? So speaking is not as difficult as you think. And we will see that later on, okay? So as you can see, this exam has 4 parts, 4 main skills who are going to be graded and different parts. Today, we're just going to talk about 2 parts, which are listening part 1 and part 2. And the next class, we will cover listening parts 3 and 4, and we will practice a whole listening part in real time. So this is just like some lessons that you will have in order to practice and to see how this PET exam is. Okay, guys. Until this point, do you have any question about this proficiency test? ¿Tienen alguna duda sobre este examen de suficiencia? Any doubt, maybe? ¿Dudas o preguntas?
Teacher, I have one question.
Sure.
How many times the certificate is available?
Okay, well, for teachers, we need to retake the exam each 2 years, because for us, it's like 2 years valid. But for students, for example, in your case, let's say that you are just in 2nd level or 2nd semester of your career, and you complete the 5 levels of English, and you want to take the exam, the proficiency test. You can do it, and this certificate, it's going to be valid until you complete the whole career. So for you, or for academics needs, it's not going to expire in 2 years. Sí, solo para cuestión académica, precisamente de la universidad, no se les va a caducar el certificado, la suficiencia. Es decir, que si ustedes están en 2º nivel de su carrera, deciden tomar el examen de suficiencia y aprueban, pues el certificado les va a ser válido hasta el final de su carrera, como lo que les suelen pedir, ¿no? Entre los documentos que les piden a ustedes para ingresar está el certificado de haber terminado los 5 niveles de inglés y de haber tomado y aprobado la suficiencia. Es decir, que a ustedes no se les caducaría el certificado si es con estos fines académicos, ¿no? Pero digamos que ustedes tal vez después de que terminan la carrera, digamos que ustedes sacaron la suficiencia en el 2020, ¿sí? Y se gradúan en el 2024. Y en el 2025 quieren ustedes seguir una maestría. Dependiendo de la universidad a la que ustedes apliquen para esa maestría o especialidad, les va a decir todos los requisitos, ¿no? Ya con términos de maestría es probable que les pidan otro tipo de certificado de suficiencia. ¿Sí? Tal vez les pidan un nivel B2 o tal vez les pidan una prueba específica que certifique ese conocimiento. Y pues las universidades ahí sí les pueden decir, debe estar válido o se aceptan los certificados hasta tal año. Sí, es probable que tal vez con fines de maestría o de especialidad les toque como tomar otra vez la suficiencia, pero en lo referente a su carrera, a los papeles que ustedes necesitan para graduarse, no va a tener caducidad. Es decir, que pueden bien sacar ustedes en primer semestre la suficiencia, como en el último semestre, tal vez en séptimo o en octavo, que les va a ser válido el papel para poder egresar y cumplir con todos sus requisitos de grado. Maybe some of you had that question too. Sí, esta es una pregunta muy común entre los estudiantes y tienen miedo, ¿no? Dicen, no, es que estoy en tercer semestre y no me van a hacer válido la suficiencia porque vale solo 2 años. En el país se reconoce como válido por 2 años, precisamente especialmente para profesores o personas que ocupamos el inglés como un medio de trabajo porque es un método de actualización. Sí, es una forma de que cada 2 años uno está diciendo, sí, todavía sé, todavía estoy en este nivel, he practicado, porque como ustedes saben, si no se practica, uno se olvida de las cosas, entonces es más como una forma de decir, sí, todavía estoy activa en el idioma, todavía me acuerdo, todavía mantengo este nivel o he subido mi nivel. Sí, eso es todo con el certificado de suficiencia. Legalmente, la suficiencia no, hablando de términos internacionales, no suele caducar. Ya depende del país también, porque hay idiomas que nos piden como la actualización del certificado cada 7 años o cada 5 años. Ya depende mucho del idioma y del país. Any other question, guys? Maybe.
Yo, teacher.
Steffi, tell me.
Por ejemplo, quería ver sobre las fechas. El semestre ya en este último, ¿hasta qué fecha se acabaría y cuándo empezaría ya para dar el examen de suficiencia?
Okay, that's a good question, Steffi. Thank you. You know, guys, we try that all students can access to this test. Well, the Language Center offers this test once a month. Es decir, que ustedes todos los meses, una vez al mes, se designa una fecha específica para toma de examen de suficiencia. Por ejemplo, este mes, la fecha de suficiencia es hoy, ¿sí? El día de hoy van a dar examen de suficiencia y si ustedes tienen compañeros o amigos, saben que el día de hoy van a rendir el examen de suficiencia del mes de julio. Para el mes de agosto, pues se especificará la fecha y para el mes de septiembre también. Es decir, que cada mes hay un día designado para suficiencia. ¿Sí? Y también cuando estamos cerca a las inscripciones, nosotros siempre les comunicamos. ¿Qué es lo que me falta de comunicarles a ustedes? Que, bueno, dentro del semestre nosotros tenemos, en su caso, 3 semanas asignadas para la revisión del examen de suficiencia, ¿sí? Esta semana veremos listening, la siguiente semana nos ocuparemos de reading, porque son los skills que, como ustedes se dan cuenta, tienen más partes, ¿sí? Nos van a tomar más tiempo. Y luego, pues, la última semana estaremos hablando de writing y speaking, que no nos toman mucho tiempo. ¿Sí?
Teacher, una pregunta.
Oops. Yes.
Teacher, y o sea, por ejemplo, si nos inscribimos para dar el examen de suficiencia, ¿nos están llamando presencialmente?
A ver, les cuento. Hasta este mes están en modalidad en línea. No sabemos cuál sea la disposición para el siguiente mes, puesto que la mayor parte de las personas van a contar ya con segunda dosis de vacuna. Eso quiere decir que es muy probable que el siguiente mes ya nos llamen de forma presencial o tal vez no. No nos han comunicado nada aún. Entonces, Les explico rapidito, ¿no? Dentro del semestre nosotros sí vemos lo que es preparación para la suficiencia. Sin embargo, puede ser que ustedes no se sientan aún conformes o no sientan que están listos para dar el examen. Y eso ya va a depender de cada uno de ustedes. En ese caso, el Centro de Idiomas también cuenta con un curso específico que está diseñado para estrategias del examen PEP, es decir, estrategias para rendir la suficiencia. En este curso ustedes durante un mes miran y practican y hacen sample test, es decir, exámenes de prueba con el tiempo exacto, midiendo el tiempo de cómo sería el examen. ¿Sí? Dura un mes y me parece que ya el de agosto se abre hasta desde la siguiente semana, en caso de que ustedes quisieran como una extra practice, ¿no? Practicar una práctica adicional antes de dar el examen. Este curso de estrategias tiene un costo para los que quisieran seguir y adicional, algunos estudiantes me preguntan siempre, teacher, ¿cómo hago para inscribirme o dar la suficiencia? Primero necesitamos que en el sistema ustedes ya hayan aprobado los 5 niveles de inglés. Eso es indispensable. Sí, you need to have approved all the 5 levels of English. Then you can enroll. We can say you can enroll to this exam through your platform, I think, in the days that it's going to be available. Sí, hay fechas en las que está disponible la matriculación como para el examen de suficiencia. En esas fechas pueden ustedes matricularse. La primera vez que ustedes den el test o el proficiency test, it's not going to have any cost. Si no les va a costar nada, va a ser gratuito porque entra dentro de su gratuidad. Sin embargo, si alguien no aprueba el examen, puede dar una segunda oportunidad, ¿sí? Es decir, que vamos a contar con una segunda matrícula que ya va a ser pagada, ¿sí? Y si por último no pasan esa segunda oportunidad, ustedes saben que los casos o más bien las situaciones en las que ustedes pueden acceder a una tercera matrícula son muy, muy específicas y muy reducidas, salvo casos probados. Es decir, no dejen para llegar a ese punto para asustarse, ¿no? Traten de ir preparados desde el primer intento. ¿Sí? Focalícense en que tienen solo un intento para aprobar el examen. And by the way, even though, let's imagine that you end the whole semester, you end the 5 levels on August, and you want to give the proficiency test on September. Let's imagine that in September we still are in the online modality and you have to give your test online. Just let's imagine. If you try to copy in any of these parts of the exam, your exam can be canceled and you can get 0 in the whole exam. So don't do that, guys, because it happened me once. I got one student exam and I saw that exam was copied. The written section was copied, was downloaded from a web page, and for that reason, that person exam was canceled. So don't take that risk. ¿Sí? No se arriesguen de ganas si es que ustedes todavía tienen la posibilidad de dar el examen en línea. ¿Sí? No caigan en la tentación de la copia porque se les puede anular el examen. Que como les digo, en mi caso, encontré un examen escrito igual que en su quiz. By the way, les digo por si acaso, en el quiz encontré 2 personas que se descargaron la respuesta o copiaron la respuesta de una página. En el caso del quiz, tienen 0 en la parte de writing esas personas. Pero en el examen ya de suficiencia, si un profesor encuentra que alguien se descargó o copió fragmentos de internet, nosotros presentamos la página web de la que ustedes se descargaron, el texto que ustedes escribieron para su prueba y se les anula el examen. Entonces no lleguen a esa parte que sí me pasó una vez, un estudiante fue anulada por ese chiste. Igual en el speaking, sí, mucho ojo con tener a alguien ahí whispering in your ear, sí, ahí susurrándoles, porque let me say that I have seen everything, almost everything with the students. Se ve de todo. Se ve personas que están al ladito medio escondidas, por ahí se les ve el brazo o se les escucha como les están diciendo las respuestas, ¿no? Así, susurrándoles las respuestas, whispering. So, don't do that, guys. Don't take that risk, that wordless risk. Y no se aventuren ni tomen riesgos innecesarios. Mejor, al contrario, aprovechen que es la primera parte, básicamente tienen o mantienen la gratuidad y traten de apuntarle a pasar el examen. Como ven, las cuatro skills tienen un puntaje igual, es decir que en cada una van a ser evaluados sobre 2.5 hasta completar los 10. Nota mínima para pasar 7 y pues necesitan ponerle mucho empeño, sobre todo al skill que les dé más problema. Any other question, guys? Yes, no? Anyway, guys, if you have any question during this lesson, please ask, because your question can be the question of some other students as well. Okay, guys, so as I told you previously, today we're going to focus on listening, just part 1 and part 2. As you can see here, we have the 4 parts of the listening section. And let's start just with listening part 1 and part 2, okay? So how is it going to be? For this listening, let's start with part 1. You're going to listen 7 different records, okay? You're going to listen to 7 short audios or 7 short records, and you're going to complete with a multiple choice format questions, and you will have to choose the right answer. You will be shown some images. In this case, 7 images, 7 records, and different options. It's a multiple choice example, okay? So for each audio, you will have 3 options, 3 photos or 3 options where you can choose which one is the right one. You're going to say, no, that's easy. That's very simple. It's not so simple, guys, because all the answers are going to be in the conversation. So you're going to listen the 3 options you have, and you would be maybe a little bit confused, okay? So we're going to make some examples. Don't worry about that. That would be the first part. As you can see, the first part, you will have to listen 7 short records and choose the right answer with a multiple choice format. In the second part, we're going to have a very longer record, a longer audio. It can be a person talking, or maybe an interview, or maybe two friends talking, and you're going to have 6 questions about it. Questions about the same audio or the same record. Okay, in this case, this is going to be very similar to the records that we listen in our book. Okay, so one listening, one audio, and 6 questions or comprehension questions about this record. And we're going to have to choose the right answer between 3 options. Okay, so it's again a multiple choice exercise. These are going to be the ones that we're going to focus today. So part 1 and part 2, but it's also good for you to know how it's going to be part 3 and part 4. So just as a short review, part 3, we're going to fill in the gap. It means that you're going to have some blank spaces and you will have to complete with 1 word from the listening, just as we did today with the song. Okay, very similar to the song thing or the song exercise that we did today. You're going to have a blank space and you're going to complete it or fill it with the missing word. That's part 3. In part 4, we have a very long conversation, and you will have 6 phrases where you will have to identify if they are true or false. Something that we have done before. Okay, so it's nothing from the other world, out of this world. These are questions that we have been experienced through the whole 5 levels. So in the listening part, we're going to have, as I told you before, 4 parts, 2 multiple choice parts, and 1 fill in the gap, and 1 true and false questions or kind of questions. Okay, so we're going to start, or I'm going to share with you an exercise. That's how are we going to work this lesson. We're going to make some practices, and I'm going to ask for your help, okay, guys? So we're starting with part 1 of this listening. Sí, vamos a hacer, primero va a ser una prueba únicamente. As I told you before, this is how you're going to see this first part of the listening section. Let me show you.
Teacher, good morning. ¿Me podría aceptar la llamada, por favor? Es que mi compu estaba dañada y ahorita le pude prender.
Can you please send, let me see. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's continue then. Vamos, entonces continuamos con esto. Aquí podemos ver una práctica, ¿sí? Hay algunas páginas. There you are, Vivi. Ya estás adentro, Vivi. Hay algunas páginas en las que ustedes pueden practicar exámenes previos. ¿Sí? Les van a salir exámenes anteriores y pueden ir practicando todos los skills. That's something that we're going to do today. ¿Sí? Algo como lo que vamos a hacer el día de hoy. In the first part, as I told you, how many questions are you going to have, or how many audios are you going to listen? Asu, can you remember how many questions are you going to have in this part?
7 questions, teacher.
7 records. We're going to have 7 short records. So, and you have 3 different images according to this audio. In these images, guys, you're going to say it's very easy. ¿Sí? Seguramente van a decir, facilito. Hay 3 imágenes, ha de ser facilito. But the difficult part here is that you're going to listen all these 3 in the record. ¿Sí? Van a encontrarse absolutamente con las 3 opciones que ustedes ven de imágenes, se van a encontrar en el audio. Por eso es muy, muy, muy importante entender qué es lo que nos están preguntando. So, can you please help me reading the first question, Moni? ¿Puedes ayudarme leyendo la pregunta número 1, por favor?
Okay, teacher. What will the weather be like at the weekend?
Thank you. What will the weather be like at the weekend? Entonces, ¿qué estamos buscando específicamente? Lo que vamos a buscar en nuestro audio es cómo va a ser o cómo será el clima el fin de semana, específicamente el fin de semana. Sí, para eso tenemos que estar muy atentos a las palabras que nos pueden como guiar hasta esa respuesta. ¿Qué es lo que estamos nosotros aquí calificando? Su vocabulario sobre el clima. Okay, so what are the options here? Here we have sunny, partly sun and a little bit cloudy, and we have rainy, right? We're going to listen, guys. Vamos a escuchar el audio, and I'm going to ask you to send me the answer, ¿sí? Through the Zoom chat. Van a escribir en el chat de Zoom la respuesta que ustedes consideran es la correcta. Okay. Let me see if it's clear. Jason, what do we have to do? Oh my gosh, here is just the ghost of Jason because he's asleep. Erika Chuga, can you help me please? What do we have to do, or what are we going to do?
Respond the question, listen the audio, and respond the chat.
Exactly. We're going to send A, B, or C in the chat. Exactly. Okay, thank you, Santi, by the way. Get ready, guys. ¿Listos para escuchar? Vamos con el primer intento.
So tomorrow and Friday, we can expect more of this lovely hot weather with bright sunshine and temperatures up to 24 degrees. So don't forget to wear sun cream. Saturday and Sunday will be cooler and cloudier, but it will stay dry without any rain. So you won't need your umbrellas, and there might be a few sunny periods.
Okay, guys. This is just an example. No se apresuren todavía a mandar la respuesta porque vamos a escuchar una vez más. As you could listen, the records are very fast and you're going to listen just British accent. British accent in a very fast way and from different parts of the world, and also voices and tones of voice from different people. Maybe you're going to listen to old people talking, to women talking, or to kids talking. Okay, you need to differentiate these tones of talking. Okay, so we're going to listen again. Pay attention.
So tomorrow and Friday, we can expect more of this lovely hot weather with bright sunshine and temperatures up to 24 degrees. So don't forget to wear sun cream. Saturday and Sunday will be cooler and cloudier, but it will stay dry without any rain. So you won't need your umbrellas, and there might be a few sunny periods.
Which one is the right answer in this one? Okay, I have B and C. B and C, B and C, B and C. Okay. Most of you guys did right. Most of you did right. The right answer is letter B. Why do we know that it's letter B? Can somebody tell me why did you choose letter B? Anybody? ¿Quién me quiere contar por qué eligieron la B?
I listened that he said it was going to be cooler and cloudy this Saturday and Sunday.
Exactly. That's the first clue we have, ¿sí? La primera pista es que obviamente ahí nadie nos va a decir on weekend, right? Or at the weekend. En un audio de estos de comprensión no vamos a tener las palabras exactas. Es decir, que tenemos que nosotros analizar a qué nos referimos con weekend, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, fin de semana, Saturday and Sunday. That was the main point. Justo cuando nos dijo el clima va el sábado y el domingo va a ser el siguiente, ahí paramos la oreja, ¿no es cierto? Porque ya venía nuestra respuesta. Y ahí que nos decía, como Wendy nos dijo, cooler and cloudy. Cooler and cloudy. Sí, va a estar fresco con algunas nubes y adicional, como para nosotros estar 100% seguros de que esta era nuestra respuesta correcta, teníamos you won't need to use any umbrella. ¿Sí? No va a necesitar ninguna sombrilla porque no va a llover, because it's not going to rain. So that's why we know that this is the right answer. Let's move to the second one, ¿ok? Vamos a la siguiente. Vamos a escuchar 2 veces. Generalmente para listening lo que yo suelo aconsejar es traten de leer, ¿sí? Primero la pregunta, que es lo que se nos pide a nosotros que busquemos en el audio, ¿sí? Al primer listening, because you're always going to listen the record twice, ¿sí? Ya sea que les toque presencial o que les toque en línea, lo recomendable y lo que siempre van a hacer los evaluadores es ponerles el audio 2 veces únicamente, ¿sí? A la primera vez traten ya de tener su respuesta y en la segunda vez solo constaten que ustedes están en lo correcto, ¿sí? Ese es mi consejo. Let's continue with number 2. Can you read the question, please, Christian?
What did the woman do on holiday?
Exactly. What did the woman do on holiday? ¿Qué hizo esta señora el fin de semana? Vamos a escuchar. Pay attention, guys.
You're back. Did you have a nice holiday?
Oh, yes, it was wonderful.
You're very brown. Did you do a lot of sunbathing?
I was going to. I was so tired last week when I left. I planned to do nothing all week except lie in the sun and occasionally go for a swim in the sea.
Didn't you then?
No, I got bored. I actually went walking in the mountains. It was great. I saw some really lovely villages, lots of pretty flowers, and some fantastic views of the sea and the beach.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
Okay, let's listen again, guys. Vamos a escuchar nuevamente.
You're back. Did you have a nice holiday?
Oh, yes, it was wonderful.
You're very brown. Did you do a lot of sunbathing?
I was going to. I was so tired last week when I left. I planned to do nothing all week except lie in the sun and occasionally go for a swim in the sea.
Didn't you then?
No, I got bored. I actually went walking in the mountains. It was great. I saw some really lovely villages, lots of pretty flowers, and some fantastic views of the sea and the beach.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
Okay, guys, send me your options. What did you choose? A, B, or C? Okay, A, B. I got a lot of A's. Exactly, guys. That's the right answer. Letter A. Okay, pay attention to some specific details. How did you know that it was letter A? Jason, que ya regresó. How did you know that it was letter A?
Because she said that climb the mountain, and I don't know, I hear that.
Okay, you heard just the last part and it worked. But be very careful with the pronunciation. She said, I planned to take the sun and go swimming. Sí, planeé irme o recostarme, tomar el sol y nadar. Pero justo ahí le preguntan, didn't you? ¿Lo hiciste? Fue así. And she said, no. Actually, no. De hecho, me fui a las montañas. No? No, actually, I hike in the mountains. So that's why we had this as the right option. Let's continue with the next, guys. Pay attention. Can you help me reading number 3, please, Bibi?
Yes, teacher. What is the man's book?
Exactly. Where's the man's book? Vamos a escuchar y vamos a tratar de poner atención. ¿Dónde está el libro? Okay, pay attention, guys.
Have you seen my French book?
It's on the shelf, isn't it? I saw it next to the flowers.
It was there this morning, but it isn't there now.
Maybe you put it on your desk with all your other books.
I've looked there already. I can't see it.
What about in the cupboard, next to the television? There are several books in there.
Might be there. I'll have a look. Oh, here it is. It was on the shelf all the time.
Okay, listen again, guys.
Have you seen my French book?
It's on the shelf, isn't it? I saw it next to the flowers.
It was there this morning, but it isn't there now.
Maybe you put it on your desk with all your other books.
I've looked there already. I can't see it.
What about in the cupboard, next to the television? There are several books in there.
Might be there. I'll have a look. Oh, here it is. It was on the shelf all the time.
So, guys, can you share with me the right option, A, B, or C? Here we have A, C, A. Wow, why do you think it's the right one, letter A? ¿Por qué crees que la correcta es la letra A? Tell me.
Listening the table, bueno, estoy dudando entre la B porque también mencionaba the flowers, entonces no estoy tan segura.
Okay, yes. Grace, why is letter C for you?
In this case, I listen in the part, maybe the desk.
You listen the desk.
I confuse on the letter B and C.
Exactly. Los dos primeros no tuvimos problema en acertarles, ¿no es cierto? Pero miren cómo va un poco complicándose los audios. ¿Qué pasa en este punto? Cuando empezamos a tener dudas, cuando no conocemos todos los elementos de las respuestas. ¿Sí? En este caso, Ustedes escucharon desk en el audio, escucharon shelf en el audio y escucharon table en el audio. ¿Sí? Es decir, escuchamos las tres opciones que tenemos aquí. ¿Sí? Tenemos que poner mucha atención en otros elementos que nos puedan guiar a la respuesta. Vamos a escuchar una última vez.
Have you seen my French book?
It's on the shelf, isn't it? I saw it next to the flowers.
It was there this...
Alguien me dijo, escucha las flores, Aquí nos dice, ¿viste mi libro de francés? Sí, está la última vez que le vi, estaba en la repisa junto a las flores. Y él dice, estaba ahí la última vez, pero ya no está.
This morning, but it isn't there now.
It isn't there now. No está. Ahí no está ahora. Vamos a ver qué dice después.
Maybe you put it on your desk with all your other books.
Tal vez lo pusiste en el escritorio. Maybe you put it in the desk with your other stuff, con tus otras cosas.
I've looked there already. I can't see it.
What about in the cupboard next to the...
Busqué ahí, pero no está. ¿Sí? What about the cabinet? What about the cabinet? ¿Y qué hay de la cómoda?
The television. There are several books in there.
Al lado de la televisión. Hay algunos libros ahí.
Might be there. I'll have a look. Oh.
Maybe there. Maybe it be there. Sí, tal vez esté ahí. Voy a buscar. Sí, tal vez esté ahí.
Here it is. It was on the shelf all the time.
La palabra aquí clave es here it is. Here it is. Aquí está. It was on the shelf after all. Entonces, ¿cuál será la palabra correcta? Cabinet, shelf, or desk? Bibi had the right answer. Bibi le atinó. Estuvo en la repisa todo este tiempo. It was on the shelf after all. Let's listen number 4. Vamos a la cuarta. Can you help me reading number 4 question, please, Carlita?
What do they need to buy?
Exactly. What do they need to buy? ¿Qué vamos a comprar? ¿Qué necesitan comprar ellos? Listen, guys. The options, I think we have butter, eggs, and flour. Let's listen.
Okay. What do we need?
Well, we need some butter.
Do we? We already have some in the fridge.
I don't think it's enough. We need 300 grams, but we only have about half a packet.
The recipe says we need 4 eggs.
We've got plenty of eggs.
All right. Are we okay for flour?
I think so. There's half a kilo in the cupboard, and I think we only need 200 grams of it.
Right then, I'll go to the shop and get what we need.
Once again, we're going to listen once again, guys. Pay attention.
Okay. What do we need?
Well, we need some butter.
Do we? We already have some in the fridge.
I don't think it's enough. We need 300 grams, but we only have about half a packet.
The recipe says we need 4 eggs.
We've got plenty of eggs.
All right. Are we okay for flour?
I think so. There's half a kilo in the cupboard, and I think we only need 200 grams of it.
Right then, I'll go to the shop and get what we need.
Okay, send me, guys, your answers. What do they need? A, B, or C? Okay. I got some A's, A, C, 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 A. C, A, okay. Marjorie, can you tell me, why do you think it's letter A? Or why did you choose letter A? Wake up, Marjorie.
Yes, teacher.
And exactly. Tell me, why did you choose letter A?
Because in this part say the the girls need by teacher, ¿cómo se pronuncia?
Butter.
¿Cómo se pronuncia este elemento de letter A?
Sería butter, la mantequilla.
Ajá. Say the butter
Yes, they say they needed the butter, right? But you can confirm that that's the answer because she said, we just have, I think she said something like they have just the half of the package and they are going to need more. So that was the clue. Yes, this is the right answer. Thank you so much. Let's continue with number 5. Can you help me reading, please, Asu, number 5?
Number 5, what is the woman's son studying at the moment? ¿Qué está leyendo la mujer en este momento? ¿Estudiando la mujer en este momento?
¿Qué está estudiando el hijo de la mujer en este momento? Look at this. Women's son. Sí, que está estudiando el hijo de la señora o de esta mujer en este momento. Pay attention to the options, okay? Let's see.
How is your son enjoying university?
Well, not a lot. He's finding the journalism course quite difficult.
Journalism? I thought he was studying law.
He was, but he changed his course about 3 months ago. He didn't like it. He had to do a lot of reading, and he soon realised that the other students on the course were a lot more hard-working than him.
Do you think he'll stay on the course he's doing now?
I doubt it. Last time I spoke to him, he told me he's thinking of becoming a mechanic.
So we're going to listen again, guys.
How is your son enjoying university?
Well, not a lot. He's finding the journalism course quite difficult.
Journalism? I thought he was studying law.
He was, but he changed his course about 3 months ago. He didn't like it. He had to do a lot of reading, and he soon realised that the other students on the course were a lot more hard-working than him.
Do you think he'll stay on the course he's doing now?
I doubt it. Last time I spoke to him, he told me he's thinking of becoming a mechanic.
Okay, guys, so can you tell me which one is the right option, A, B, or C? Okay, I have some B's. I have A's. Okay, A, B, A. Why do you think it's letter A, Grace? Can you tell me? Why did you choose letter A?
Yes, the woman say her son study period at the moment, and the difference with the letter C, she said will become, o sea, va a ser después, desea convertirse más después en mecánico. Entonces se dice que el literal A es correcto porque está todavía en ese momento estudiando.
En ese momento él está estudiando. Algo que nos guía, ¿no? Porque la otra persona le dice, wasn't he studying law? I thought he was studying law. También menciona derecho aquí, ¿no? El señor dice, pero no estaba estudiando derecho. La forma como de en este caso, de comprobar, de reafirmar que la respuesta es la A, es que nos decía, yes, he was, but he changed to journalism three months ago, I think she said. Dice, sí, pero se cambió hace 3 meses a periodismo, ¿no? So yes, the right answer was letter A. Thank you, guys. Let's continue with number 6. Can you help me reading number 6, please, Carlitos? Help me reading the question.
What is in the suitcase?
What's in the suitcase? Vamos a ver, tenemos 3 objetos, ¿no? Y tenemos que buscar cuál de estos objetos ya está dentro de la maleta. We have a towel, we have toothpaste, and we have soap. Let's listen. Vamos a escuchar.
I think I'll have a shower before we go out. Where's the soap? Is it in the blue bag with the toothpaste?
I'll have a look. No, it's not here. I found the toothpaste, but there's no soap.
Maybe I put it in the suitcase with the towel.
Yes, it's in here. Here you are. But there's no towel in here.
Oh, no. Did I forget to bring it?
It looks like it. You'll have to use the hotel one. But perhaps you should buy a new one before we go to the beach.
Okay, let's listen again, guys.
I think I'll have a shower before we go out. Where's the soap? Is it in the blue bag with the toothpaste?
I'll have a look. No, it's not here. I found the toothpaste, but there's no soap.
Maybe I put it in the suitcase with the towel.
Yes, it's in here. Here you are. But there's no towel in here.
Oh, no. Did I forget to bring it?
It looks like it. You'll have to use the hotel one. But perhaps you should buy a new one before we go to the beach.
Okay, guys, tell me, which is the object in the suitcase? A, B, C? Okay, we have one B, B, B again, B. What do you think, A, B, or C? I have just 4 answers. Janet Zita, why do you think it's a letter B?
I listening Think Blue y hablaba algo de que necesita para como protector de la playa, algo así. Eso me va a hacer teacher.
Okay. Santi got letter C. Listening estaba un poco más tricky, right? Tenía mucho más truco. Obviamente habló de los 3, pero tenemos que estar muy atentos, ¿no? En el primero nos dice, en la maleta azul, ¿sí? O en el bolso azul, no hay el jabón, pero sí encontré la pasta de dientes, right? Listen that.
I think I'll have a shower before we go out. Where's the soap? Is it in the blue bag with the toothpaste?
I'll have a look. No, it's not here. I found the toothpaste, but there's no soap.
Maybe I put it in the suitcase with the towel.
Yes, it...
Ojo, maybe I put it in the suitcase with the towel. Sí, tal vez está, en este caso estaba buscando el jabón, ¿no? Dice, tal vez está en la maleta con la toalla.
I think I'll have a shower before we go out. I think I'll have a shower before we go out. Where's the soap? Is it in the blue bag with the toothpaste?
I'll have a look. No, it's not here. I found the toothpaste, but there's no soap.
Maybe I put it in the suitcase with the towel.
Yes, it's in here. Here you are. But there...
Yes, it's in here. Nos dice, sí, aquí está, en la maleta, ¿no es cierto? Yes, it's in here. Hablábamos del jabón, todo este tiempo hablamos del jabón. Okay, let's move to the last part. Vamos ya al último audio de la parte 1. Let's listen, guys. I think this is going to be harder for you. Sí, va a estar mucho más complicado este. Because you need to know some adjectives to describe how a person looks like. Sí, necesitamos ya adjetivos para reconocer cómo es una persona físicamente. Can you help me reading the question, please, Alexis? Hello, Alexis, are you there?
What does the man's brother look like?
Exactly. What does the man's brother look like? Veo cómo es el hermano del que habla, ¿no? Pay attention, guys.
Thanks for offering to pick up my brother from the station next Saturday. Let me describe him to you, because you may not recognise him now. He has short hair, so he's got dark hair and glasses. He used to have a beard and a moustache, but he's shaved off his moustache now. He looks a bit strange, I think, with just a beard, but he says it's cool. I'll tell him to wear a white shirt on the day he arrives, then you'll know who he is.
Okay, guys, let's listen again.
Thanks for offering to pick up my brother from the station next Saturday. Let me describe him to you, because you may not recognise him now. He has short hair, so he's got dark hair and glasses. He used to have a beard and a moustache, but he's shaved off his moustache now. He looks a bit strange, I think, with just a beard, but he says it's cool. I'll tell him to wear a white shirt on the day he arrives, then you'll know who he is.
Okay, guys, is it A, B, or C? Okay, we have one C, two A's. Which one do you think is the right answer, guys? A, B, or C? Wendy, once again, why did you choose letter A?
I heard that the brother isn't don't have a mustache, bigote. Now, for me, the person on the letter B and letter C have a mustache. O sea, I see this.
Exactly. These features, right? These characteristics. He was saying, my brother has short hair. Sí, tiene cabello corto. He has black hair. Tiene cabello negro. Por descarte, el señor del medio, chao, ¿no? Cabello negro. Tenemos dos opciones con cabello negro. He said he had a mustache and a beard. Sí, tenía un bigote y una barba, ¿sí? Cuando nosotros escuchamos eso, pues ya estamos pensando en la opción C, ¿verdad? But he said he shaved it, ¿sí? Pero se afeitó. Entonces ya nos manda la opción A. En ese caso, como para reafirmar la respuesta, nos dice, I will tell him to wear a white shirt that day. Y voy a decirle que utilice una camisa blanca o una camiseta blanca ese día. So, the right answer is letter A, guys. Pay attention in all those details. Mucha atención en todos esos detalles al momento de, pues de elegir, ¿no? That would be, or this is how part 1 it's going to be. Obviously, it's going to be faster. This time we were like doing step by step. Sí, esta vez estamos haciendo una práctica paso a paso, pero es más o menos para que tengan una idea de cómo va a ser la parte 1 de su listening. Okay, 7 short records and 3 different pictures to choose. Let's move to part 2. How is it going to be? As I told you before, in part 2, we're going to have the same listening. It's just one bigger listening. And we're going to answer 6 questions about this listening. The perfect option or the perfect test would be if we can watch the whole 6 sentences or the whole 6 questions so we can know what are we looking for in the listening. ¿Sí? Cuando ustedes dan este examen de forma escrita, sí, esta vez nosotros estamos haciendo solo como una práctica en línea. Cuando ustedes tienen que dar el examen escrito, se van a encontrar con la parte 2, ¿sí? Las 6 preguntas en la hoja. Es decir, que ustedes pueden tomarse 1 minuto para leer las 6 preguntas y ya tener una idea de lo que ustedes están buscando en el audio, ¿sí? Entonces, en este caso vamos a tener un audio mucho más largo, a bigger record, and we will answer 6 questions, 6 comprehension questions. And once again, we have A, B, or C, okay? So, we're going to listen to the record and you will help me with the answer. Pay attention, guys. Can you, before we start with the listening, can you please help me reading this first question? Steffi, can you help me reading question number 1?
Yes, teacher. You will hear two friends talking about buying a new camera. Where does the government recommend buying one?
Okay. So we are looking for a place, right? En este caso vamos a buscar dónde nos recomiendan que compremos esa cámara. Let's listen, guys.
I want to buy a new digital camera in the sales. I've been reading some online reviews and I'm still not sure which one to get.
That's the problem with buying one from the internet. You can't try something out before you buy it. Perhaps you should go to a store.
Yes, it'd be good to get advice from a real salesperson. It's a shame that the local shop has such a small range of cameras. There's the mall, I suppose.
Oh no, I wouldn't go there at this time of year. It'll be very crowded. The shop down the road is a lot better than it used to be now that they're new owners. You should give it a try.
Okay, I will. Thanks for your advice.
So guys, which one would you choose? Letter A, B, or C? Okay, I have letter C. Letter A. Letter C again. The options we had were from a website, from a mall, or from a local shop. Let's see. The mall wasn't included, right? They say that they didn't have a range of cameras, so the mall wasn't the right one. What about website? I have there one option, a website. Okay, it's not the right option because they say, or the speaker was saying that he doesn't want to buy online. And the last one we have from a local shop. The option we have, or the right option, is from a local shop because they say there's a good store by the road. ¿Sí? Hay una buena tienda en el camino. ¿Sí? Si hablamos del camino, estamos refiriéndonos en este caso a una tienda local, algo que va a encontrar en su ciudad, ¿no? Let's see the next question. Vamos a la siguiente. Help me, guys, with the answer, okay? First, Daniel, can you please read number 2, question number 2? Daniel is not here, I think. Can you help me reading number 2, please? Leslie. Help me reading number 2, please.
Yeah, teacher. You will hear two friends talking about a film they have just seen. They agreed that the field would be better if.
Thank you, Aldrich. So we're going to listen to two friends talking, and we need to complete it, right? They agreed that the film would be better if. Si los dos están de acuerdo que la película sería mejor si es que, vamos a ver cuál de las tres opciones es la correcta. Listen, guys.
That film was pretty good, I thought. I really liked the special effects. They looked real.
I don't think so. Why wouldn't they film those mountain scenes on real mountains? That would look so much better than computer effects.
I think computer effects can look better than real life, personally. The film did go on for a long time, though, didn't it?
Far too long, in my opinion. I was ready to go after 2 hours, but the costumes were terrific.
They were. I don't really notice that sort of thing when I watch a movie. I normally just concentrate on the story. But I noticed them in this film. They were incredible.
Okay, let's listen again, guys, so you can help me with the answer.
That film was pretty good, I thought. I really liked the special effects. They looked real.
I don't think so. Why wouldn't they film those mountain scenes on real mountains? That would look so much better than computer effects.
I think computer effects can look better than real life, personally. The film did go on for a long time, though, didn't it?
Far too long, in my opinion. I was ready to go after 2 hours, but the costumes were terrific.
They were. I don't really notice that sort of thing when I watch a movie. I normally just concentrate on the story. But I noticed them in this film. They were incredible.
Okay, guys, which option would you choose? A, B, or C? Okay, I have an A and a couple of C. C's answer. Let's check this out. It's not about the costumes. No es la respuesta correcta la de los disfraces o la vestimenta. What do you think? It was shorter or it had fewer special effects then? Okay, and you got the letter A. It's not letter A either. So the right one was letter B. We need to pay attention in what they say. So listen again, guys.
That film was pretty good, I thought. I really liked the special effects. They looked real.
I don't think so. Why wouldn't they film those mountain scenes on real mountains? That would look so much better than computer effects.
I think computer effects can look better than real life, personally. The film did go on for a long time, though, didn't it?
Far too long, in my opinion. I was ready to go after 2 hours, but the costumes were terrific.
They were.
I was ready to go after 2 hours. Okay, they said it was too long. So they agree that it would be better if it was shorter. They were kind of tired. Yes, you heard the three options. Escuchamos las tres opciones, pero tenemos que estar muy atentos o pilas en realidad a cuál es la correcta. Okay, guys, let's practice. We're going to practice another part 2. Vamos a practicar la parte 2 desde otro recurso. Let me share with you. So you can also see how is this part 2 going on. Okay, just give me a second and I change the screen so you can see it as well. Let me see. Okay. Here we are. Here we have another part 2 and we have some questions, okay? This is how part 2 is going to be. The last part we were having just smaller records, But as you know, part 2, it's going to be with a longer record, and you're going to have six questions about this record, the same record. Sí, vamos a tener 6 preguntas sobre el mismo audio en este caso, en la parte 2. Vamos a ver otra práctica. Sí, in this case, we have 3 of the first 6 questions. Aquí en la pantalla ustedes tienen 3 preguntas de las 6. ¿Sí? The competition this year is to find the best. You can enter the competition if you. And to find out more about the theater group, you should phone. Entonces, vamos a estar pilas a encontrar las respuestas para estas 3 preguntas, 3 primeras preguntas. ¿Sí? La competencia este año es para encontrar al mejor. What? Actor, dancer, singer. You can enter the competition if. Puedo entrar a la competencia si. If I send the entry by post. If I live less than 5 miles from the city center. If I phone anytime after Saturday. And to find out more about the theater group, you should phone. Sí, para saber más del grupo de teatro, debería llamar a Listen Guys and help me to complete, okay? We're going to
put a tick in the correct box. You now have 45 seconds to look at the questions for part 2. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. You will hear the recording twice.
Welcome. Jenny and I have got lots to tell you, haven't we, Jenny?
That's right. This week on Saturday night, Westfield Radio runs its annual competition.
What's it for, Jenny?
Well, last year it was to find the best dancer, and next year it will be the turn of local actors to enter. But this year, we're looking for the best singer in our city. You have to perform alone, and we'll provide a musician.
And what are the rules?
Not many. For example, there's no limit on age. Whether you're 65 or 6, it doesn't matter. But you must live within 5 miles of the city centre. You need to phone your entry before Saturday. We don't accept entries through the post or by fax. And speaking of talent, there's a new theatre group starting every Saturday, specially for teenagers.
And how do people get more information?
If you're interested, you need to contact the theatre group's secretary, and I will give you her phone number later. They're going to meet in St. Paul's School.
Right. Well, it's school holidays this week, so what's on offer?
Okay. To let as many...
Okay, guys. So, as you can see, the record is longer. Sí, el audio es mucho más largo y tenemos 3 preguntas más que aún no habíamos leído. Sí, generalmente en esta parte del listening, las respuestas van a ir saliendo en orden. Es decir, que como nos van preguntando, van a ir saliendo en el audio. Es por eso que necesitamos leer las 6 preguntas para tener una idea clara de cómo van apareciendo, ¿no?, en el audio. Nos faltaban estas 3 preguntas más. What's the different about the arrangements at the sport hall this week? ¿Sí? What is different about the arrangements at the sports hall week? Es decir, ¿qué hay de diferente o cuáles han sido los arreglos en el centro de deportes esta semana? What information are we given about the new swimming pool? ¿Qué información tenemos sobre la nueva piscina? And what are we told about the rock group Switch? ¿Sí? ¿Y qué sabemos o qué nos han dicho sobre el grupo de rock denominado Switch? Pay attention to the next part and try to write down the answers of each question. ¿Sí? Para este ejercicio les recomiendo ir anotando en un papelito las opciones con las respuestas correctas, ¿ok? Let's listen, guys, and pay attention.
Many people as possible use the sports hall this week. It will open an hour earlier than usual at 8 a.m. and shut later at 10:30 p.m. instead of 9. If you want to do one of the more popular activities, you should ring and book as usual. The indoor football pitch is always popular and has to be booked in advance.
But what about the swimming pool?
Not quite such good news, I'm afraid. We'd hoped to tell you that the new swimming pool would be ready, but it's not. It will open, however, before the end of this month. That's about a week later than planned. But good news now, there will be no charge for swimmers for the whole of the first week that it's open.
Oh,
It's the same size as the old one, but has much better facilities.
that's great. Now, Jenny, have you heard of the rock group called Switch?
Yep, even I've heard about them. Probably because 2 of their 4 members were born in Westfield, and all 4 of them now live here when they're not travelling around the world. This time last year, they were 4 ordinary teenagers, and now they're world famous. Well, they're doing a concert on Saturday evening in the town hall, and it will be very popular.
So get your tickets quickly. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay, guys, so we're going to listen again this part. Vamos a escuchar nuevamente y traten de apuntar cuáles fueron las respuestas que obtuvieron para las 6 preguntas, okay? From lesson, I think it was from question number 8 up to question 13.
Now listen again.
Listen again.
Welcome. Jenny and I have got lots to tell you, haven't we, Jenny?
That's right. This week on Saturday night, Westfield Radio runs its annual competition.
What's it for, Jenny?
Well, last year it was to find the best dancer, and next year it will be the turn of local actors to enter. But this year, we're looking for the best singer in our city. You have to perform alone, and we'll provide a musician.
And what are the rules?
Not many. For example, there's no limit on age. Whether you're 65 or 6, it doesn't matter. But you must live within 5 miles of the city centre. You need to phone your entry before Saturday. We don't accept entries through the post or by fax. And speaking of talent, there's a new theatre group starting every Saturday, specially for teenagers.
And how do people get more information?
If you're interested, you need to contact the theatre group's secretary, and I will give you her phone number later. They're going to meet in St. Paul's School.
Right. Well, it's school holidays this week, so what's on offer?
Okay. To let as many people as possible use the sports hall this week, it will open an hour earlier than usual at 8 a.m. and shut later at 10:30 p.m. instead of 9. If you want to do one of the more popular activities, you should ring and book as usual. The indoor football pitch is always popular and has to be booked in advance.
But what about the swimming pool?
Not quite such good news, I'm afraid. We'd hoped to tell you that the new swimming pool would be ready, but it's not. It will open, however, before the end of this month. That's about a week later than planned. But good news now, there will be no charge for swimmers for the whole of the first week that it's open.
Oh,
It's the same size as the old one, but has much better facilities.
that's great. Now, Jenny, have you heard of the rock group called Switch?
Yep, even I've heard about them. Probably because 2 of their 4 members were born in Westfield, and all 4 of them now live here when they're not travelling around the world. This time last year, they were 4 ordinary teenagers, and now they're world famous. Well, they're doing a concert on Saturday evening in the town hall, and it will be very popular.
So get your tickets quickly. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay, guys. So we listened twice this record and you heard the 6 or you read and listened to the 6 options. Can you tell me what option did you choose for the first one? This competition year is to find the best actor, dancer, or singer. Which was it? Okay, Jason says letter C, Wendy. Santi, letter C, Tupac, letter C. Pao and Bannon, letter C. Exactly, that's right. The right option here was letter C. They were looking for the best singer this year. Sí, nos hablaba de lo que se eligió el año pasado, de lo que se va a elegir el año que viene y de lo que estábamos eligiendo este año, que era singer, right? The best singer, letter C. What about number 9? You can enter the competition if you A, B, or C. Okay, I have some B's. Santi and Wendy says letter B. Letter B, also Tupac. That's right. You got the right option, guys. Okay, Pao is also answering. Letter B. They say that one of the requirements is that people live less than 5 miles from the city center. Thank you. What about number 3, question number 3? To find out more about the theater group, you should phone to the theater, to St. Paul's School, or the secretary of the group. A, B, or C? Okay, we are plenty of C's, exactly. That's the right one. You need to call to the secretary of the group. Yes. And I heard that they say, I'm going to give you the number later, right? Ahí nos decía, les voy a dar el número luego. Yes, so the right option was letter C. Let's see what happens with the 3 upcoming questions. Vamos a ver cómo les fue con las 3 preguntas. Okay, then we have, what is different about the arrangements at the sports hall this week? ¿Qué había de diferente? A, B, or C? The closing is later. It's not possible to hire, or all activities must be booked. Okay, I have a C and an A. Somebody else has the answer of number 11. Nobody else? Come on. Let's listen, guys. Vamos a ver. Una de las dos es la correcta, A o C. Let's listen. Let me find the specific part on the record.
One, but has much better facilities.
That's great.
Than planned. But good news now. There will be no charge for swimmers for the whole of the first week that it's open.
Oh.
It's the same size as the old one, but has much better facilities.
That's great. Now, Jenny, have you heard of the rock group called Switch?
Let me do it.
But it's not. It will open, however, before the end of this month. That's about a
much earlier, I think.
It's possible to use the sports hall this week. It will open an hour earlier than usual at 8 a.m. and shut later at 10:30 p.m. instead of 9. If you want to do one of the more popular activities, you should ring and book as usual. The indoor football pitch is always popular and has to be booked in advance.
Okay, this is the clue. So the right option was a Santiago Road, letter A. The closing time is later than usual. The lady said that they should close at 10 instead of 9:30. ¿Sí? Van a cerrar a las 10 en lugar de las 9:30. ¿Por qué no elegimos la letra C? All activities must be booked in advance. Porque ahí nos dice que just a football, which is the most popular, has to be booked in advance. Sí, solo la más popular debe ser reservada con anticipación. That's why the right answer this time was letter A. Sí, en este caso nuestra respuesta correcta era la letra A.
But
what about, guys, the next one? Which one did you choose about the swimming pool? A, B, or C? It will be open next month. It will be free for 1 week, or it's bigger than the old one. A, okay, A, I have A. Exactly, guys, you got the right one. It's going to be open next month. Okay, yes, you heard that right. And what about the rock group Switch? Was letter A, B, or C? Okay, I have an A. They were all born in Westland. They all live in Westfield, or they are doing 2 concerts. Okay. Good, guys. I had two answers with letter B and one with letter A. And some others with letter A. The right answer this time is letter B. They all live in Westfield. ¿Por qué no escogimos la número 1? Mucho ojo a lo que escuchamos. Sí, tenemos aquí, nos decía, 2 of them live or were born in Westfield. Sí, justo nos hablaba de que únicamente 2 de los integrantes nacieron en esta ciudad. Look at this or listen.
That's great. Now, Jenny, have you heard of the rock group called Switch?
Yep. Even I've heard about them. Probably because 2 of their 4 members were born in Westfield and
2 of their 4 members, 2 de los 4 miembros, nacieron en esta ciudad, Westfield.
All 4 of them now live here when they're not.
All 4 of them live here. Sí, los 4 ahora viven aquí. Por esa razón, la respuesta correcta era letter B. So, guys, now you saw how these 2 parts of listening are going to be. Sí, ya vimos más o menos cómo es la estructura de estas dos partes del listening. What are we going to do now, guys? You're going to help me completing another part 1 of listening. This time it's going to be faster, and then we do our classwork, okay? So let me share with you again the page, and this time it's going to be very faster than the previous one. So we're going to start with part 1 again, okay? Otra vez una parte 1. 7 audios or 7 records and 7 different pictures. Pay attention, guys, to the first record. I'm going to play it twice and then I'm asking you for the right answer, okay? Les voy a repetir 2 veces y luego les pregunto la respuesta correcta. Listen again, guys.
Where do you live, Carol?
I have a flat on the north side of town.
What's it?
Listen carefully.
Now turn to part 2, questions 8 to 13. You will hear a woman called Lucy talking on the radio about a new magazine. For each question, put a tick in the correct box. You now have 45 seconds to look at the questions for part 2.
Listen, guys, it's going to start.
Tell you about my work. People are...
Listen carefully, guys.
Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. You will hear the recording twice.
I'm Lucy Holmes, and I'm here today to tell you about my work. People ask me why I decided to start a new magazine. Well, I've been a journalist for many years, working for newspapers and magazines in this country and abroad. I've always dreamt of starting my own magazine. Not because I want to be rich, but because I want to do something different. And now I've done it. It is different from other magazines, and I'm sure it's going to be successful. So, what's the magazine like? I should explain that it's a local magazine that will come out each Thursday. It's the same size as the local weekly newspaper, and in fact looks very similar, but it doesn't carry news, and it doesn't report on events as they happen. I think this is the important difference. You can buy it in all the usual places you would buy your local newspaper. The magazine itself is divided into 2 main parts. The first half is a What's On guide, which contains information about everything that's happening in the city over a 7-day period. There are music and film reviews, and information about special events, so you can decide what's worth spending your time on. And it's also got local bus timetables and useful phone numbers. There are also reports on restaurants, but we're not going to write only good things about the restaurants we choose, because these are not advertisements. They're the honest opinions of our journalists. That's a strength of this magazine. The writers are all independent journalists who say what they think. That's one half of the magazine. The other half is the articles. We want to write about the lives of local people. They may be famous or not, but they have all done something interesting, such as developing a new business. There are several famous artists in the city, like Lisa Goodchild, who's talked to us about her life in the first issue. We hope to interview a wide variety of people. I'm really happy because there are some fantastic journalists living in the area, many of them busy writing for national papers, and they're supporting the new magazine by writing for it. The journalists are happy because the magazine has room for longer articles, so they have more space to give their opinions. So anyone who's interested in writing...
Okay, guys, you listen the record.
Now listen again.
Listen again.
I'm Lucy Holmes, and I'm here today to tell you about my work. People ask me why I decided to start a new magazine. Well, I've been a journalist for many years, working for newspapers and magazines in this country and abroad. I've always dreamt of starting my own magazine. Not because I want to be rich, but because I want to do something different. And now I've done it. It is different from other magazines, and I'm sure it's going to be successful.
Okay, this is going to be your classwork. So you will have to play this record. Si tienen esta pantallita con el audio, aquí le van a dar play y van a escuchar uno a uno los 7 audios pequeñitos para que ustedes puedan seleccionar cuál de los 3 es el correcto. A, B o C. ¿Sí? Y van a escribir justo en la parte junto a la pregunta en mayúsculas. ¿Sí? A, B o C, dependiendo de la que ustedes consideren es la respuesta correcta. Como vieron ustedes, no nos demoramos en la parte 1 especialmente. Son 7 audios, pero son cortitos, ¿sí? So, you have 30 minutes to complete this, that it's more than worthy. Van a tener muchísimo tiempo para hacer este listening, este classwork. Les va a tomar mucho menos tiempo. Una vez que ustedes completen, no se olviden de enviar las respuestas al mail de la teacher y subir la evidencia al portafolio estudiantil. Voy en este momento a crearles la actividad también para que ustedes puedan completar. And I will share with you the link in your Zoom chat and also in your WhatsApp group, so you don't have any problem with that. Okay, so tell me guys, can you see the link on your chat box? Okay, now you can